They talk. You wait. They explain. You observe. They rush to be seen. You prepare to be undeniable. In a noisy world obsessed with likes, opinions, and public declarations, there's an ancient weapon, sharpened by emperors, feared by tyrants, and mastered by the wise, that lies in wait behind closed lips. Silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of control, the silence of strategy, the silence of power. Welcome to Stoic Beast Mindset, where your transformation begins not with what you say, but what you choose not to say. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't just write about power. He understood its architecture. While others built empires of noise, he crafted legacies in whispers. To him, silence wasn't passive. It was a form of domination. The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances. That line? It isn't just poetry, it's prophecy. Machiavelli saw it before the world had Instagram, TikTok, and performative vulnerability. He knew. People trust what they can see, but they respect what they don't understand. In a world drowning in confessions, silence has become the most dangerous form of communication. Why? Because while others are busy narrating their every move, the silent one is winning. Think about this. Every time you speak needlessly, you give away intel. You commit yourself to a plan before it's ready. You let people map your mind. You erase the mystique that makes you unpredictable, powerful, and respected. The moment you explain yourself too much, you move from being a strategist to a servant of others' expectations. Machiavelli's world was full of political traps: exile, assassination, manipulation. Say the wrong thing, you're dead. But today, you don't die. You drain. You drain your credibility, your presence, your power. Let's break this down. There are 3 forms of strategic silence Machiavelli would use like daggers hidden beneath a cloak. And if you master them, you don't just gain influence. You become untouchable. First, silence for intelligence. While fools react instantly, the wise observe. They listen to what others don't realize they're revealing. Every boardroom, every relationship, every argument, people will rush to talk themselves into disadvantage. Let them, because when you stay silent, you become the only one in the room who's actually learning. Second, silence for authority. The loud leader seeks validation. The silent one commands attention without ever asking for it. Why do kings speak slowly? Why do CEOs say less, but get more? Because restraint screams competence. Because every word they do say carries weight. Not all speech builds status, but all silence builds presence. Third, silence for ambiguity. Sometimes, clarity is a trap. If you define yourself too early, people box you in, predict you, control you. But when you're silent, you become everything and nothing at once. They project onto you. They guess. They hesitate. You control the game by refusing to show your hand. That's the Machiavellian secret. Say just enough to keep them wondering, and never enough to let them prepare. Let's take it deeper. Silence isn't empty. Silence is psychological warfare. In silence, others reveal their biases, fears, and motives. In silence, people hear their own voices echo back and mistake them for yours. In silence, you become a mirror, and they betray themselves in their reflection. Ever sat in a negotiation and let the silence stretch? It cracks people. They offer more just to feel heard. You win by not moving. Now, here's the trap of modern life. We've been taught that transparency is virtue. That openness is honesty. That silence is something to be ashamed of. But that's a lie the loud tell themselves to feel important. Machiavelli would scoff. He'd say, the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. He knew what we've forgotten. Authenticity without strategy is weakness. You don't know your plans to people who haven't earned your trust. You don't know your thoughts to crowds that only want content, not your character. And you certainly don't owe your inner world to a society addicted to oversharing. This is Stoic Beast Mindset. Here, we don't just preach silence. We practice it like a discipline. We train in the shadows, so when we speak, the world listens. Here's how to master the Machiavellian art of shutting up and winning. Never speak before you know who's listening. Ask, observe, decode. Let them show their hand first. Speak only when your words build authority, not insecurity. No explaining, no defending, no justifying. A lion doesn't need to roar to be feared. Use mystery as a multiplier. When you're unclear, they speculate. And in that speculation, they weaken themselves. You don't rise by talking more. You rise by making every word a weapon and every silence a strategy. Machiavelli didn't just suggest this. He lived it. And so can you. If you want to stop losing battles before they start, if you're tired of giving your power away with every unnecessary word, if you're ready to lead, to win, to dominate, then remember, those who talk about victory rarely achieve it. But those who know when to shut up, they already have. You are not here to be average. You are here to rise without shouting, to dominate without noise, to shut up and win. Welcome to the silence. Welcome to Stoic Beast Mindset.